This is Dr. Johnny Fever, just doing my job, following the orders of Venus Flytrap. He's just doing Andy Travis' job, while Andy fills in for our sales manager, Herb Tarlick, who's not doing his job.
I almost forgot, fellow babies. Booger!
Hey, True Believers, England team here. I wanted to play that as a little bit of an homage, in honor to Dr. Johnny Fever. Mr. Howard Hesseman passed away recently. I know this is not a death that has shaken up the world as far as entertainment is concerned, but I used to watch WKRP freaking religiously. And I actually liked Head of the Class as well when it was on. I watched it recently. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah. I don't know why. I liked it for Howard Hesseman, tell you the truth. One of my favorite lines, and this is something I always thought was kind of funny. It explained intelligence versus wisdom to me very well. So in Head of the Class, Howard Hesseman plays a teacher, down-to-earth kind of guy. He ends up being a substitute for geniuses. And the principal is happy for his debate team, his quiz team, whatever you would call it. And so he goes, you want to see how smart they are? Tell me how you would find out the height of a building only using a thermometer. And they go off and they talk about how they would measure. And so the temperature versus the wind and so forth, and just all sorts of weird ways. And the principal turns and goes, and what about you? And Howard Hesseman goes, I'd take the thermometer over to the superintendent and say, hey, I'll give you this thermometer if you tell me how big the building is. And I went, yes, exactly. Of course, as far as Johnny Fever is concerned, damn near everything he said was funny. If you ever get a chance, I know everybody, including me, props up the Thanksgiving episode of WKRP. There's also one where they're doing drunk tests, and the more Johnny Fever drinks, the better he gets. It's a thing where it's like he's sober, and they say go, and he's got to take his hand off one buzzer and put it on the other, and they say go. And then by the end, after he's had like 10 or 12 drinks, he's like, you're getting better. Freaking hilarious show.
It's a show my parents used to watch religiously. So
yeah,
my dad was like, if it's on, we're watching it. Nothing else. I don't care if the news is on. You're done watching. Forget laundry. Time.
We're watching WKRP. Okay, so rest in peace, Howard Hesseman. By the way, he did a Christmas movie. I found that out. I was watching, we were looking for a movie, something different during Christmas, and I found one with him. It was a Lifetime kind of movie, but it was interesting. So we're going to talk about a few things tonight. A lot of banning of books is going on, and I wanted to talk about that. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have heard about Mouse being banned in Tennessee. But I think first I wanted to, first of all, let me say hello to VENKMAN. I should say that. How you doing? Evil Black Cat is in the city as well.
What's up, people?
And hello to everybody in the chat. Nerdy Texan, LK, Moranya, Ed, what's up? How you doing, Trusty? Maybe I'd be faster at Jeopardy when drunk. Maybe we should do that. We'll just do, I'll set up like 6 boards, and we'll take a shot after every category is emptied.
Yay! I love drunk Jeopardy.
I didn't know you wanted to be single.
Yeah, no, well, I wouldn't be drinking. LK is saying he also had to get Howard Hesseman had a good guest star turn on Murder, She Wrote. So I did want to talk about some of these things. We're going to be talking about Mouse in just a little bit. I haven't read this article though. I just did a video based on the Punisher and Gerry Conway. We'll touch upon that as well tonight. Get your thoughts and feelings on it. But first, apparently there is let me see let's see if I've got it up. There we go. Apparently, according to Bounding Into Comics, the comics subreddit banned Mike Baron's Thin Blue Line for what they're calling misinformation and racism. In the video I did for the Punisher, I said you got to be very careful when it comes to the whole misinformation thing, because you got to always think about the source. With Gerry Conway calling people white supremacists and such like that, you can't trust that because he's so far to the left. He's coming back around. He's like lapping people. He's so far left. So when something like Reddit calls says that there's misinformation and racism, you got to question it. And I don't think that Mike Baron is filling his comics with that stuff. So anyway, it says an activist moderator on popular comic subreddit, which boasts memberships of over 1.7 million readers, banned promotion of prolific comic book writer Mike Baron's new book, Thin Blue Line, for misinformation and racism. And obviously, Mike Baron, being a bit conservative, is Blue Lives Matter kind of person. Let's see, it says Bleeding Fool shared an article from the Federalist where Baron promoted the book while also talking about his history with comics and his views on the current state of law enforcement. We're going to touch upon what we can here anyway. In response to the sharing of his article, the comics moderator, Sick Burn Bro, replied to the original posting saying, hello, unfortunately, your submission has been removed for the following reasons: misinformation and racism. One of the things I hate about this, and we get it on YouTube too, is they will they'll say this, but they won't give you an example. They won't give you they won't say, well, when you said this, we think you're dumb, so we're taking your article down or your video down or something along those lines. And yes, I've had my videos taken down with very little information as to why. So it's kind of ridiculous. They'll say, well, you've got misinformation in here. Well, what? Let's have the, and you're not getting it. It's they started hiring people, and I'm pretty sure they have to have a certain kind of politics to check over videos. Well, this one got flagged. Let's see what it is. And if they don't like the politics of it, you're done. You're just done.
It is. I'll just say it's not only about the book, but it did say it should show a mob there. Only I can think they got canceled. They're saying racism because not everybody was white that was burning down the Capitol. That's what I'm going off of, knowing my knowledge of this. But continue.
Okay. The moderator added, if you feel your submission has been removed in error, please message us so we could take a look. Now, there should always be a conversation, in my opinion. There won't be. There's just far too many videos. 1.7 million people. They're not going to listen to everybody who gets flagged. Unfortunately, it's it really is also just weighted heavily against people of a certain political background. Let's see. He goes on. This is where they say, please remember that. Okay, that's it. That's it.
Going on to the next
resubmission. Baron's Thin Blue Line tells the story that follows police officer Valeria Baca and her partner Bob Mack. Valeria Baca. Okay. As their details guarding the mayor turns into a fight for survival. The official description on the book's Indiegogo page, of course, we always have to click on that. If they offer us things, we'll check it out. Raging mobs burn down the city as two cops fight for their community and for their very survival. Gee, it sounds like something that a lot of people have already been through here. He's got $79,000 off of 1,500 backers.
It sounds like the Capitol riots, but they're defending it.
Yeah.
Imagine the people who were in the mob had red hats on. Maybe this would be approved.
In the middle of a long, hot summer, a cop shoots a suspect, and the incident makes the national news. Cities across the country quickly erupt into violence, and well-organized activist groups mix in with the opportunists and provocateurs who begin to riot, loot, burn, and kill. It follows police officer Valeria Baca and her partner Bob Mack as their detail guarding the mayor turns into a fight for survival. Mobs burn down the city hall, forcing the officers to improvise on the run, relying only on their training and wits as the mayor protestations and eagerness to placate the rioters prove fruitless. So basically, it's exactly what happened in 2020. You have cops trying to do their jobs while the mayor's going, "No, cop, you're doing wrong." Thin Blue Line is a gripping and entertaining story that offers an unblinking look at humanity or human fallibility on every level. Readers will follow the harrowing journey of two law enforcement officers who must fight for the community and their own survival in a world gone mad. Mainstream comic publishers haven't featured cops as the central hero in decades, but a few older readers may be familiar with DC Comics' Last Experiment, Lady Cop, right here. Wow, that is older than you, Venkman. And then it just Thin Blue Line follows Officer Val Baca as she protects her community in Hagen, Illinois.
Are you scrolling down?
Trying to raise a little girl. Pardon?
Are you scrolling?
Yeah. Is it not
for me? Not for me. It's just stuck on the Thin Blue Line cover.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for pointing that.
I wasn't sure if you. All of a sudden, I noticed. I was like, he's reading further ahead.
I am. And it wasn't scrolling. Here you go. What follows is a sampling of the interior pages. I'm actually on Mike. That's probably why I changed the Mike Barron's thing.
Okay.
So this is art from the comic. This is what I was going over. So it's actually pretty decent art. You're gonna get Mike Barron writing, which is everybody knows is good. So there you go.
The art is decent. Kind of reminds you of the art from Telepaths.
Yeah. And I guess this is Mike Barron's Punisher. So we all know he's good. And I wonder what he's going to do with us after he does. I got there first, guys. Shoot, since I'm here, I might as well just pimp it out here, right? Limited black and white signed hardcover for $75. 12 out of 100 claimed. You've got the signed autograph bundle, $50 USD. And then you have, let's see, Sergio Corella variant cover, 25. Thin Blue Line print version, 25. And then you have the digital only for 10. And then the Officer Assist package, which I don't know what this includes. Okay, there we go. Physical copy of the book, digital PDF copy, duplicate main cover, donation certificate. So I guess a
ride-along coin.
That's a ride-along coin. Holy crap. Yeah. Police assistant donation autograph card. So there you go. Okay. So by all means, if this is your cup of tea, that's what we're talking about. This is what's getting burnt. Now, here's the thing. If you remember, what I read was this right here. All of the stuff I said right there is what got Mike banned from the comic book subreddit for racism and misinformation. It wasn't that they were saying other things. Isn't that what was going on in the article? That they said that he was banned because of
misleading.
It's
fictional, obviously.
Okay, so here we go. 1.7 banned my promotion. Banned the promotion. What we just saw. That's why they banned it, for misinformation and racism. They stated nothing about anything that happened beyond what's in the book, and yet they banned Mike Barron for it. They banned him for just making a comic book about something they didn't like. This isn't about something he said in that description. There was nothing said in that description except for describing the freaking book. This is beyond bullshit.
He went on Fox News this morning to talk about it. That's probably what that link is, that video is.
I'll get a hold. Okay. I will get a hold of that as well here, because they didn't say a goddamn thing.
Yeah. He said he went on.
Didn't say a thing about it.
He was supposed to go on this morning talk about Superman, but I'm sure he brought up the Thin Blue Line being Fox and Friends.
Okay, here we go. So let's read a little bit. Speaking with Fox News, Barron revealed the book is a direct response to the riots of 2020. He explained, well, I always say I don't choose my stories. My stories choose me, and I like every one of you was watching. I like every one of you. I was watching television during the long, hot summer of 2020 when we saw talking news heads in front of cities that had burned to the ground, explaining they were mostly peaceful riots. You have this this lady. The one that broke my heart was the old lady who, because of her lack of mobility, she had a very limited world. And people burn that down. And what ticks me off about it is because what they're saying is because VENKMAN did something to Evil Black Cat, I could go to LK's house and burn it down and go, woo!
Well, it's okay. I don't mind. Go ahead.
Right, I know. But point being is that something happened to somebody way over there doesn't give you a right to freaking burn down the guy way over here's business. And that's exactly what happened. And they acted like, oh, okay, shut up. Okay, so anyway, let's see. And then politicians started crying for defunding the police, which is, I love it. Avi Arad, who goes into neighborhoods, do you want the police defunded? And all the black people are like, no. My reactions was, are they insane? Civilization depends on the rule of law. You're either for the rule of law or you are not. Now, the reason why it was so important to put the law the way it is the put the law above people is because then everybody follows the same rules. He went on to add the story practically wrote itself, and I have to emphasize it's not a lecture. It's not a didactic at all. It's pure drama. You are going to love it. It's a great story. It's going to grab you by the throat on the first page, and you won't be able to put it down until you finish it, he declared. In his interview with Peter Pischke of the Federalist, Barron reiterated the riots of 2020 inspired the book. And Pischke said, so you are now doing Thin Blue Line, a pro-law enforcement story. What motivated you to do a pro-cop story? And Barron answered, one day watching these riots that swept through America last year, you would see the same thing on channel after channel, cities in flames, looters running in and out, somebody addressing the camera up front saying these are mostly peaceful protests are for a righteous cause. And you see politician after politician, we must defund the police. Since they declared war on the police, homicides are up 100% in every blue city. Rapes, robberies are up 100%. Now, I don't know if this is accurate or not, and this could be the misinformation. Like you might be able to point up to something and go, well, no, they're only 80% higher here. Now they have these vaccine mandates and they want to force everyone to get a vaccine.
There it is.
By the way,
vaccine.
This is, that'll do it.
That's it.
This is great art, by the way. I do like that. Let's see. Then he asserted police officers and first responders, nurses, doctors are walking off the job all over the country, leaving hospitals, police departments understaffed. Even SeaWorld, it was sad. We went today and it was just understaffed. So it's like fire departments, but right under that, theme parks. Seriously. And so I decided, well, this story needs to be told because it's certainly not being told in any of the popular entertainment we're seeing these days. And that is true. You know what else is not being covered? The freaking trucker thing that's going on in Canada.
Yeah, that's all Russian hooks.
Yeah. Let's see. Aloise is saying, is Thin Blue Line still available on Indiegogo? If they, I didn't see a link here. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have linked it up.
Do you know what should get more coverage? Those monkeys escaped Pennsylvania.
I know, right?
Where were they going?
Let's see. I wouldn't give them any reason. There are there or Kickstarter, says LK. So try there. Q burning down the house. And yeah, but I would get copyright strike. Then I'll file a claim with BLM to get some of their 60 billion. By the way, didn't they make like $1 billion off of donations?
Of course.
Like Captain America was like, they're burning down cities, but that's a good thing. So I've got to bail them out.
Now those cities can.
So you bailed out an arsonist, and now you want to play a superhero again.
Don't worry, kids. It's good for retailers. Now they can build new buildings there. Kick all the people live there.
You made sure a 60-year-old woman couldn't get her necessary medication after they burned out a CVS.
That's one person surviving on Medicare, the government money.
No, it's just solid drama, he says, and it snaps and clicks from panel to panel. That's what I try to do in my entertainment. No wasted spaces, no boring spots, just pure entertainment. It just happens to have police who are cast in a sympathetic light because you're either for the rule of law or you're not. Civilizations. Now, I agree with him on that. I do.
Trusty's got
so
the
there
link
you go.
on there for those who want to support, which I probably.
All right. Thank you very much, Trusty. And Thin Blue Line has currently been backed to the tune of 53,000, and I guess that's.
We're gonna pimp more books out. We should pimp out Common America Volume 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just okay. For some reason, I was like, wait a second, that's what I read off, right? Yeah, that was exactly what I read off. So there we go. Yeah. Yes, it is. So by all means, if it looks like your cup of tea, go on and help out Mike Barron and get his book. It looks like it's got some good art, some good. We know it's going to have some good writing because Mike Barron is a good writer.
Back Mike and back Tim.
Always. Yeah. So here's
and
the
Mark Balin Greeny.
Mark Pellegrini.
Yes, Mark Palin. Yeah, we should actually mention the writer too, right?
Well, I mean,
he's a good guy. Yeah, bring him on in.
And his cat Goblin too, since we're showing.
There you go. And while you're at it, pick up Soul Finder. Let's just get that whole group on in.
Yes, Doug Ernst.
Okay. I live
Does
in
Mike S. Miller have something going on?
Hold on there. Aloise is saying, I live in a blue city. There are protests here, but they were small. The mayor himself and 2 other people stopped some hooligans from turning the protests into riots. Our governor he stood there with police officers, excuse me, and the sheriff of one county comes out and says, all right, so here's the thing. We do recommend that you get a gun for safety, and if somebody enters your home illegally, feel free to shoot them.
We had
a sheriff say that. I thought, wow, okay. The governor even, DeSantis, said that if you riot, you go to jail. Simple as that. He even signed into law if they're protesting and all, and they go out in the street and pound on your car. Boom.
Oh yeah. At least
I see Eric. I saw it.
He's ignoring it. I'm not gonna give him a satisfaction.
But there's something. Okay, there is something that I brought up Mike Barron. Mike Barron is conservative. And I think it's very important to call out. We do know that the conservative side of things is we get attacked a lot. We do get banned a lot. So in Tennessee, there is a problem with mouths. Okay. And you could call it banning. I'm not quite sure. It isn't exactly a banning. Like, you could still pick up the book Mouths in Tennessee. It's not illegal to pick up Mouths. What they're doing is they're saying they don't want it taught or used as a tool to teach the Holocaust. And there's a teacher who's saying, wait a second, it's a great tool to teach the Holocaust. And it made me wonder. It made me think. And here's the thing, and this is why I'm bringing it up, is I don't believe in tribalism. I believe in moralities. I believe you have to stand up. Like, if I don't like a book being banned, and as far as Mike Barron is concerned, a more conservative, I have to stand up and say, you can't ban it from the other side. Point being is, if Glenn Beck and Rachel Maddow both wrote books and then each side wants to ban them, I have to say, no. Both books are good. You have to put them up there. And does that mean that something crappy is going to come through? Yes, that does. But when you're living in a free society, you just have to accept the good with the bad. You're like, someone always says, what if an Islamist wants to say that they want to blow it? They could say all they want, so long as they don't call to action or do the action. Say what you want, and that's where it goes. So I read up on this article, and we're going to go over it. We got a few that's talking about the whole Art Spiegelman thing, and I want to go over it. because there are parts in here that, even though it is not a ban on Mao's, and it isn't, you could still buy it in Tennessee. They're not saying keep that book out of Tennessee, nor is it an attack on Jewish people. This isn't that. So if you're hearing that as well, and I have heard that, well, you know, they don't like it. No. First of all, look around at who's actually committing violence towards Jewish people these days. It's not about that, but what it is about is taking it off the curriculum so they can, they're not teaching the Holocaust through this book. Not that they're not teaching the Holocaust, but that they're not teaching it through this book. Okay. Let me see if I can't find the right. I think
Moron said they're moving from grade school curriculums, not high school, because
I'm sorry, we're gonna go over this.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's not exactly right either. Okay, this is what I was wanting. So I want the one from Tennessee. Okay. That's not exactly it either, because I heard as high as 8th grade, and that you're talking about 15-year-olds. And I'm thinking, you know what, you could use this. But my big question about it is, when Schindler's List came out on DVD, schools were allowed to use it to teach the Holocaust. And there's some visuals in there that are harsh as hell, including the one scene where they're all running around naked to see if they're healthy enough to live, basically. So I wonder how much it got cut up then. So anyway, we're going to go over some of this. As you can see, there's a huge article. Okay. But we're going to be, we're going to be talking about this. Okay.
9th
so
grade 15, Rania.
Okay. So it says, all right. I guess the McMinn County School Board in Tennessee just voted to ban a Pulitzer prize-winning graphic novel. Once again, it's not a ban. As reported by the Tennessee Holler and the Guardian, the McMinn School Board voted 10-0 to ban Mao's from all of its schools. See, not out of Tennessee. Now, here's the thing. That's all of the schools. I don't think that's right. Let the high schoolers read it. They're okay with that. Apparently, the school board discussed the possibility of simply redacting words and images. Censorship is not good in any form there, kids. Like, I don't think it would be good. Look, and I understand something as well. Bringing my kids up, I don't even want the Holocaust taught to them at a certain age. There's no reason to say, okay, kindergartners, we're going to talk about how the Germans turned 5 million Jews to ash. No, that would not be good. There's certain things as you grow, you'll learn. It's like you don't need to know all of the horrible things at 6 years old that may have occurred for our country to become our country. You're going to learn that as you go on. It's just to basically know your audience. Let's see. To ban Mao's out of school, citing the book's inclusions of words like goddamn and naked pictures of women. Apparently, the school board discussed the possibility of simple. Okay, we talked about that. Why does the educational system promote this kind of stuff? It is not wise or healthy. I am not denying it was horrible, brutal, and crude, says one board member. It's like when you're watching TV and a cuss word or a nude scene comes on, and it would be the same movie without it. And they go on to say, well, this would be the same book without it. If I had a child in eighth grade, they're talking about right here, this ain't happening. If I had to move him out and homeschool him or put him somewhere else, this is not happening. Elementary school, sure. Okay, I can see it. But let the teenagers learn. If you're going to teach, even if you're going to teach about the Holocaust to elementary school students, I don't think it would be right to go full on. You add that stuff in as it goes. That said, while the board itself voted unanimously to ban Mao's, others leapt to the book's defense. One instructional supervisor, and I agree with this guy, I could talk of the history. I was a history teacher, and there's nothing pretty about the Holocaust. And for me, this is a great way to depict horrific time in history. And comic books work that way. My daughters learned from comics, and they started reading other things from comics. And it's an easy way. It's an easy in. That's why kids' books have pictures, for Christ's sake. Okay, and this is a great way to depict a horrific time in history. Mr. Spiegelman, did his very best to depict his mother passing away, and we are almost 80 years away from that. Are the words objectionable? Yes. There is no one that thinks they aren't, but by taking away this first part, it's not changing the meaning of what he is trying to portray at copyright. Are we going to be teaching these words outside of the book as vocabulary? No. And he mentioned to the others that they know him better than that. And they're saying, regardless of the reason, the decision to ban a landmark graphic novel like Mal's is sure to raise eyebrows, given the recent trend of conservative book banning efforts, and there have been a few, and I am not for any of it. Well, age appropriate. On top of that news of the McMinn County Board voting to ban Spiegelman's book from its schools come just one day before International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Couldn't pick a better time, huh? Look, here's the thing, jackasses. The media, the leftists own the media, and they're always looking for a way to hammer anybody who's a bit conservative. And you just had them a big freaking nail, you dumbasses. To that point, numerous journalists and literary industry professionals have offered their own takes on the board decision, with most condemning it. There's only one kind of people who would vote to ban Mal's, whatever they're calling themselves these days, wrote Neil Gaiman. Really, Neil? Really? Have you yelled at anybody for a mask? Or have you tried to force anybody to take medicine? Frickin' jackass. You freaking jackass. I'm on your goddamn side, and you're a freaking hypocritical prick, Neil Gaiman. Anybody want to cut that section out, you go right on ahead. You can send it to him. Hypocritical piece of shit. Sorry, but you are. You believe in freedom or you don't. A Tennessee school board voted to drop the Pulitzer Prize winning graphic novel Mal's, which tells the story of Holocaust with cartoon mice, because it contained inappropriate words and imagery. I wish them luck in their quest for wholesome, family-friendly Holocaust content, added Yair Rosenberg. By the way, that's
family-friendly? Awesome. Holocaust is not family-friendly.
No, that's what he's saying. You're not going to find it. You're not going to find it. So the only way really to teach the Holocaust, in my opinion, is to show how gritty it can be. We've seen a PG-13 Holocaust.
Talk about it, and you show the images.
Yeah. But yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that they're not teaching it to, or they're not allowing it to go to teenagers at least.
As LK brought up, is the recent trend of conservatives banning book efforts, or book banning efforts with zero examples. That's the new thing they're doing now too. If you look at some of the
here's something good. I was going to read this on another article, but this guy Gary Witter, Ryan Higgins, as I've offered before with other banned comics, I'll donate up to 100 copies of the complete Mal's to any family in the McMinn County area in Tennessee. Just to me, DM your address. This person says I will match this, and I think that's kind of awesome. And a related story, Mal's, for the first time in 30 years, is now in the top 10 on Amazon, ladies and gentlemen, because of this banning. So there you go. I mean, look, I get it. I don't teach, and I don't think this was a case. They didn't say it was a case because they brought up 8th grade. Don't teach freaking toddlers and kids but below, like, say, 12 or 13, the freaking Holocaust. Let them learn it when they get older, and their minds can actually handle that kind of man-to-man brutality. When they get older, why not show them, if you're going to talk about it at all, show them everything. Another thing, if you don't mind me losing my shit for a bit and calling out these hypocritical pricks who want to protect, oh, by the way, no, I guess these wouldn't be the same people, but I'll call out Neil Gaiman for it. I'll call out any of them that talk about, these are kids that they are saying can chop off body parts and become the other sex without parental knowledge either. So I don't know. Anyway,
Anyone who's for forcing someone to do something
There was
and doesn't want to do himself is a hypocritical piece of crap. You know?
There was some stuff in Texas a little bit ago, LK. So this was going on. Wonder if oh, hold on just a sec. Let me get some comments here because I was on the other page.
In a field, yes. You're on a roll. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, okay, I appreciate it. Mr. Grant Gregory is saying, I am literally reading Mal's now. What is this? It's the Holocaust is told through the like if the Jews were mice.
Hitler's a cat now in this book.
All you have to do is look at a little cretin that pushed this nothing story Judd Legume.
I think that personally.
I'm just saying, they made Hitler a cat in this book.
Boo.
A black cat has nothing to do with that.
These parents expect society to do their job. Yeah. Most people on the other side have been wanting books banned. See Dr. Seuss. I see Dr. Seuss every day I turn around because
that's creepy. You're seeing ghosts.
I think I mentioned this before.
Oh yeah, banned off of eBay. Cannot sell it anywhere.
I had this on my eBay channel. This is your favorite Dr. Seuss, A Baker's Dozen. And on it, or in this book, is, I believe, 4 of the 6 banned Dr. Seuss stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured, you know, I'll probably be able to make $1 or $2 off of this book on eBay. So I put it on eBay. And eBay says they're taking it away. And I shit you not, they said it was for hate speech.
Okay, it's calling you out on that article.
Dr. Seuss. They banned freaking Dr. Seuss.
Okay, saying that they didn't ban anything. They just chose to remove it from the lower grades.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, they didn't.
But no, they were talking about 15-year-olds and that as well. 8th grade guys.
Yeah. Okay, so they weren't banning though.
Yeah. Oh no, but I said that already.
Yeah, I know.
He's not calling me out. He's repeating me.
I'm just saying that article is complete garbage. You're better than that.
Compare it to the Seattle School District that banned To Kill a Mockingbird of insensitive language. Nary a peep from the same outraged people. There should be, but that's the whole thing. That's one thing I believe. If you take a stance, you got to take a stance on both sides. Take the good with the bad. You take the good, you take the bad. There you both. You have the facts of life. It was in the song, guys. It was in the song. Yeah. What is the chat? The like button is not disabled. It works, and the same for the share button, says Slither Claw. So please hit like and share this out. Seriously. Let's see. Yay, douchebags are for mandates. Go. I agree. That's what I said. School board had also said that if they can't find an equally effective book to teach the subject, MALs will be returned to the curriculum. Oh yeah, by the way, I guess you're right. I do have one more thing on the subject. And damn it, I didn't think he was going to do this. And that is this. This is the response from the McMinn County Board of Education that says one of the most important roles of an elected board of education is to reflect the values of the community it serves. First, you got to talk to them. Did you actually talk to the community and say, hey, we wanted to ban this book? Or did you say, we think this is what's good for them? Because that's been going around too, as far as school boards are concerned. All righty. Let's see. The McMinn County Board of Education voted to remove the graphic novel MALs from McMinn County schools because of its unnecessary use of profanity and nudity and its depiction of violence and suicide. Taken as a whole, the board felt this work was simply too adult-oriented for use in our schools. Bullshit. Bullshit. You just said that it is the role of an elected board to reflect the values of the community. You did it because you thought the people in your community couldn't handle it. And that's what's going on. They are freaking making decisions that shouldn't be made. This is something they should have had a meeting about. We do not diminish the value of Mals as an impactful and meaningful piece of literature, nor do we dispute the importance of teaching our children the historical and moral lessons and realities of the Holocaust. To the contrary, we have asked our administrators to find other works that accomplish the same educational goals in a more age-appropriate fashion. The atrocities of the Holocaust are shameful beyond depiction, and we all have an obligation to ensure that younger generations learn of its horrors, to ensure that such events is never repeated. We simply do not believe that this work is an appropriate text for our students to study. Then what work is? I agree with the other one. Good luck finding your family-friendly, clean Holocaust material. You're going to have to, what was that thing? Beautiful, that there was, it was a movie, that won an Oscar.
Beautiful Mind?
No, it was a foreign film based on the Holocaust.
I only know the Diary Anne Frank, and then
it was about this guy who gets thrown into a camp with his son, and he's trying to keep the horrors of the Holocaust away from his son and try to keep the son's spirits up while hiding him because all of the other kids were destroyed.
There's another movie with Rob Williams. I think it was called Jacob. Not sure.
LK, everything you have said, I said. Everything you said, I said.
He did post a link to the actual response to the actual person who posted the thing. Christopher F. Rudo.
I just want to say, hope everyone is having a good night, and not sure whose beard I like more, Engletine's or Venkman's. His got more color to it. Let's see. The bookie is holding up racist. Yep. Okay. To Kill a Mockingbird is a timeless classic that tells a story about the intolerance and wrongness of racial hatred. Of course, the left wants to ban it.
The bad thing is they don't have to ban Anne Frank at all, Diary Anne Frank. Most kids today think that she's Helen Keller.
Yeah. Hey, LK, come on and speak your piece, because I don't like...
Yeah, he did drop a link, though, in there.
To what?
To response to the original post, the Twitter post. Apparently,
okay.
It's an article from the Daily Caller. It was in the chat.
All right. And more importantly, though, I wanted to talk about. No, I'm not seeing it. Actually, I am. I'm
in the private chat.
I'm not getting anything new. On YouTube,
I got it. I'm getting new stuff.
YouTube.
I got Rhaegar. Get in there.
On YouTube, I kid you not. The comments on YouTube for me, we just got to Slitherclaw telling everybody to do. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Here we go. Daily Caller. Do corporate media misrepresents teenage school? Okay, let's go with this. All right. And hey, I'm cool with bringing up, but I did not 100% back anything there's, because I do not believe that I don't think that it should be taught to 10-year-olds, but it definitely shouldn't be freaking banned. Okay, this story is fake news. The book was swapped out from the 8th grade curriculum, not banned. That's what we said. The board voted to find a better book for the Holocaust and said they'd even use Mouse again, which, of course, Moron said. School board members... Oh, okay, I am sharing it. Good. School board members discussed how they could keep the book in the curriculum while removing swear words. Of course, we brought that up. School board did not discuss banning books from the school premises, discouraging students from reading it, or even removing. Talked about that it was not banned from Tennessee. They did say they're okay. So they're not also taking it away from students. They're saying they're not going to teach it, which was actually said. Board member Rob Shamblin speculated that Mouse will continue to be part of the district's 8th grade reading curriculum if the district is unable to find a suitable place. Moron mentioned that. He was reportedly unsure of exactly what would happen in the situation. The school board voted unanimously to take the book out of curriculum. We could teach them history, and we could teach them graphic history. We could tell them exactly what happened, but we don't all need all the nakedness. That's weird. It's do they know what kids are seeing these days? Do they know? I'd come on, but I'm sick and out of town. No worry, LK, and sorry for the outburst. I was a little bit but yeah, we talked about all of this.
Yeah, I did.
I mentioned all of this. Actually, I mentioned a lot of it before I even saw that. So,
the only thing is when I started reading up Moron, you're saying Moron, that's not true. When I read up her original comments, and then you started getting into the article.
No, because she was saying they were only taking it away from the elementary.
That's the
they were saying they didn't want to. In that article, they were saying they didn't want up to 8th grade. If I remember that correctly, that's 15. Now, it could have been because I was in 8th grade at 15, but that might be 14 as well. So 9th
grade is 15. You're 14, turning 15, and then
okay. So yeah,
you're 16 and
so
17.
It was 14 then, 14 and up.
Yeah,
and that's where I have a problem with it.
I was because 15 by 9th grade.
Yeah, if you're going to be teaching this to teenagers, then let them know. Let them know what's going on. If you're teaching the Holocaust to elementary school, seriously ask yourself why. Seriously ask yourself why. That's what I believe. Because this is teach them about World War II. If I'm teaching like elementary school students about World War II, I would just teach them who the good guys are, who the bad guys are. And then as they get older, they get better. Maybe I guess I was just a little bit older than everybody. Maybe it was 13. Maybe I'm remembering something different because it's so long ago.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that even with the Holocaust, even if they did ban schools, there's more reason for you. Every day there's another reason that they're going to close schools. You should take your kids out either to private schools, or or homeschooling them, or when they get home. The problem is public schools. It's if your kids and they're the whole system, it's hard to tell them that what they're being taught is wrong. Most kids will think, well, you're not the teacher. The dad, no, the teacher's right. That's the problem with public schools. They have the power over your kids. So I mean, as long as you're a good parent, or you're digitally educating your children, I don't think you should have a problem at all. It's the one, it's more of a hassle if you're not involved with your kids being taught. But
okay, and there's
one more
another article, and this one is I believe it was from Bleeding Cool, and they were talking about how the book is now back into the top 10 on, or it's more. Yeah, let me see. There we go. 42 years after its release.
You might have
first released. Art Spiegelman's Mal's currently the 12th best-selling case, so not top 10, but number 12. Not too bad. 13th for the complete Mal's. Okay, it says, let's see the group's first discussion whether Mal's can be censored, removing the word bitch or the use of God or damn. What I always wondered, by the way, because I don't know if you're old enough to remember this, Venkman, but when they were censoring TV, if they were watching a movie and they were censoring the language, they would always censor out God, not damn. They would censor out God because that is actually the offensive part of goddamn.
I don't remember that, but I do remember the 90s. If you're watching at Sundays, you're watching Fox. Broken Arrow, totally different dialogue was put in replace of it. They made it much
Die Hard.
I loved it.
That's Yippee-ki-yay, I'm a trucker. Yeah, it would be weird stuff. But the reason that I found out though is because in the use of goddamn, you're taking the word God and the name of God in vain. Yeah. So you shouldn't actually say that. I was exposed to the history of the World War beside the Holocaust in middle school. I read up on history. History was a very interesting subject to me as a kid. So I actually read a lot of history before I was even a teenager. So
9th grade for me, freshman, we had world history class, and they taught about the Nazis and the First World War. Well, and then I find out that's not even being taught really much anymore. It's being like summed down to like 2 weeks of teaching.
Let's see. It's been covering, and then we got a lot of the quotes that we already went over. I understand that on TV, maybe at home, these kids hear worse, but we're talking about things that if a student went down to the hallway and said this, our disciplinary policy says that they could be disciplined. I think at any time you're teaching something from history, people did hang from trees, people did commit suicide, and people were killed. Over 6 million were murdered. I think the author is portraying that because it's a true story about his father that lived through all of that. He is trying to portray that the best he can with the language that he chooses that would relate to at the time, maybe to help people who haven't been in that aspect in time to actually relate to the horrors of it. Is the language objectionable? Sure. I think that's how he uses language to portray that. Yeah, I'm not for the banning of this at a certain age level, but I can understand why they wouldn't want it in elementary hands. But when you do go over this, it's not a banning of the book. And I said that at the very beginning of the discussion, it's not a banning of the book itself. You could still get it. You can still get it in Tennessee. It's just not being taught. Stephen Brady says, the task that students do at the end of this module after they spend a couple of months talking about okay, we also learned from Stephen Brady how mouths was being used in the school syllabus in the 3rd year. And he said the task that students do at the end of this module after they spend a couple of months talking about the Holocaust, studying the project that they do that shows they understand what went on. They will write their own narrative and pretend that they have interviewed a Holocaust upstander. They are going to create graphic novel panels to visually represent a section of their narrative, and they will present that to peers. You have all the standards that we saw earlier are addressed through this project. Last part, how do we get there? Well, here's out text. I don't get that sentence, by the way. So our anchor text is mouths, and we have all these supplemental things that we look throughout this module that build to the anchor text. We look at interviews from Holocaust survivors, news articles from BBC, Los Angeles Times, Guardian, survivor stories, and excerpts from other books. So it wasn't just mouths as in, hey guys, this is a one-to-one, everything happened here. It was even used with other books. So there you go. The people clutching pearls over the language are wrong. It's up to the parents to step up and tell their kids not to use that kind of language in public. I can understand why a school's wanting to hold that kind of stuff down. Just as a sign of respect to the other teachers and such, though.
Just the bottom line, it's that if the parents are the ones going to jail, whatever the kid does, it's up to the parents' responsibility to do basically parent their kids.
Yeah.
Teachers,
as far as a lot of stuff, but we're talking about a school saying how they want students to act in that school.
Yes.
That I understand. I understand.
Yes.
But telling, saying outside the house, you still have to live by these rules. No, screw that. That's why I don't also agree when you see kids getting punished for something they said online. Even if, and I'm one of those people who believe cyberbullying, really? How about click, turn it off? Now you're not being bullied anymore. It's just, okay. 2 months on the Holocaust. Good God, no wonder the kids are suicidal. I know, right? You could barely make it through Schindler's List without. I'm sorry, I'm not even German.
Sorry, if the kid's being addicted to another kid, he's losing TV privileges.
Well, right now it's if you're feeling guilty, come on down to Florida and the theme parks and everything, and you can apologize to a Jewish person. It's New York Jew Week at the theme parks. That's exactly the reaction I got from Pixel when I went, oh wow, okay, it must be New York Jew Week.
You must be wondering.
He was like, wait, what? Well, no, actually, because of different schedules and different climates and all that kind of stuff, we get different people coming in. Like in summertime, it'll be Brazilian Week, where we get all the Brazilian tour groups, and then we have the Asia Week, where we'll get a lot of Chinese and Thai and all that kind of stuff. And this is when, if you go to the theme parks, a lot of Jewish people.
I'm just sad that nobody has recorded the mass falling of the lizards. It's on the 40 book.
We got to ask what happened to the bees. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a shift. to the final topic. We actually, I expected that Mal's would be taking up the biggest thing. I did a video, and please watch it. I need people to watch my videos, guys. If you're subscribed, please watch the video. Do you know I get more views off of non-subscribers?
Seems to be the thing.
That's amazing to me. I mean, some of you guys watching here, and I know I'm watching. Watch the video. But anyway, Gerry Conway decided to make a statement in an article or during a live stream that he wants the next Punisher to be black. And so I did a video. I already have some comments, and I thought it might be fun to go over those. And if you have your own thoughts on it, by all means, if you want to jump on and say it, or if you just let me know in the
just be respectful, and we don't accept racist comments.
Not at all, not even a little bit,
because the subject matter is dicey.
Yeah, it is. That Gerry Conway said that the next Punisher needs to be black. And of course he says because he wants the next Punisher to basically go after what minorities are experiencing today. All of them are experiencing the same thing, because don't you know, just like all white people are the same, all of everybody is the same. You're having exactly the same experiences. Therefore, God, this guy's a freaking racist idiot.
Does anybody reach out to Michael B. Jordan for the movie?
He is a freaking racist idiot. First off, and so I figured, okay, so we'll, if you guys want to talk about, I wanted to go over some of the comments. I don't think on my channel, at least, I have not yet got any comments that are
a few on the Isle of Comics ones. But
just a few. It's a gentleman by the name of Cliff Woodbury here is saying this. Let me get this up. This is interesting as hell. What would he aim his anger at? Wealthy, mostly white people. I always say I hate it when they try to force a character into another role instead of using a character that in most instances already exists with that role or can fill the role or create a new character. That's exactly what I was saying. Why make a next Punisher? You are you're doing a disservice. You're doing a disservice.
The way he's describing it, he wants a black version. It just sounds like he wants to make an antagonist for the Punisher takedown because the person's being a criminal.
Yeah. Conway wants a BLM killer. What this fool thinking? He's absolutely. One of the things I go into. Please watch the video, guys. Is the fact that Miles Morales isn't Spider-Man. Sorry, guys, he's not. Nobody refers to Miles Morales as Spider-Man. They refer to him as Miles Morales. He has had no freaking superhero identity for what's it been now? 10 years, 11 years, 12? No superhero identity. Why? Because they decided he was going to be a Spider-Man instead of the Tarantula, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, they decided to keep the name when it doesn't make sense when you hit when Peter Parker is alive in this universe. In the original universe, he only became Spider-Man because Peter Parker had died.
They're not giving these minority characters their own identities, and they're acting like it's freaking awesome. And what's worse is they're taking the freaking identities away from popular minority characters already.
Can you imagine the outrage if a white guy took the role of Falcon?
Goodness.
You're saying he's stealing from Sam Wilson.
Isn't Black Punisher Night Thrasher? Thank you. That's one. Yes. They've already got Black Punisher out there. Bring him in. Put a comic book out there about him. Write those stories that you want to write, Gerry Conway, about the characters that already exist. It's freaking ridiculous. And then when you bring the stuff up like this, like I'm bringing it up, they go, he's just scared to have a Black Punisher out there, isn't he?
Why isn't Peacemaker
lying freaking racist asshat, Gerry Conway?
Make peace. Yeah, go to DC. I want Peacemaker to be black now.
All right, dear Mr. Gerry Conway, you could have handled this subject when you were with the Marvel Comics and had the powers. Why didn't you? Exactly. Well, that's also what I say when they go, women, it's finally time for them to step up. Really? Why were you keeping them down, Mr. I've been in the business for 50 freaking years?
Well, we know why. Back then, they would have laughed at him.
I needed to get my money. Now I can do that. Yeah. It's like, what's his name? Peter Dinklage. Well, I'm the only dwarf that can have a job. Ha, 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 ha. Change that Snow White shit, mother.
Can you imagine if Punisher went to public domain? Holy crap, would somebody have a field day with that?
The Punisher, just, there's so many characters like the Punisher. Death Wish is the Punisher. Dirty Harry is the Punisher. You need some good old-fashioned Republican justice. By God, you write a Punisher character. I don't know how many stories you read from a major character and feel like it was mostly should have been written for another character, but to make it sell, and it's given to a different character. This guy goes on to say, let's see. MKF30 is saying, hey, Guillotine rocking the beard. I find it kind of, this idea of a black Punisher kind of funny. Great crime fighter with guns, very bravo, good, very Marvel, good of I've had respect for the Punisher, says Adam Cooper.
Didn't they already do a Black Punisher?
Yeah, that's rife for a bad comic book beatdown too.
Not the Frank cast. I'm talking about the Equalizer.
Oh my gosh! Oh, the Equalizer. There you go. Yeah,
Denzel watched it.
How about for Black History Month, which starts tomorrow, we do comics where white characters became black.
Lois Lane, Frank Castle.
Lois Lane and the Frank. I think that's only 2. I don't know if there's any more of them.
Sure, the's more. Justin Trudeau.
We could do the Justin Trudeau story. Oh, I love the blackface. All right, it's freaking moron. We had a Lady Punisher. Scratch that. 2 Lady Punishers, Lynn Michaels and Rachel. Cole Alves.
Lynn Michaels and Rachel Cole Alves were 2 Lady Punishers that were done well, but Frank. The second one, Rachel, was she was a cop, or I believe her husband was killed and she wanted revenge. And basically, Frank had to talk her out of it, tell her, "Hey, this is not a life you want to live. You see my life? My life sucks. You have a chance. You're a cop. You have to uphold the law." You know, it was interesting, to see that.
By the way, Rhaegar, anytime anybody brings up Rachel Dolezal, I remember I was driving a taxi cab when they had the NAACP meeting down here, big at the Orlando Convention Center. It's huge. And it was good for money. There was a lot of people needing a taxi. So I'm driving these 2 black gentlemen to the airport. They needed to go. Okay, fine. Sure. And they're sitting in the back talking. And they're talking about, I kid you not, these 2 men were wearing some really freaking nice suits. They were wealthy. It's just like you could smell it on them, how that they were rich men. And they start talking about white privilege. Not to me. They're not like, well, what do you think about blah, 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 yada. No. But they are talking about how white people are incredibly privileged, and at every turn, doors are open and everything is good. And I'm driving along thinking, I truly wanted to stop the freaking car. I wanted to use my white privilege and stop that freaking car and tell them to get the freaking hell out of my cab. Are you seriously? I'm your freaking driver, and you're going to talk to me about white privilege. It amazed me. I just tuned in, and I thought you guys were talking about comics not having a Klan meeting. What I miss? Apparently everything, if you thought it was a Klan meeting.
Yeah.
That being said, Austin,
you missed the heading out of the, pointy white hats. Besides, we needed Zach for that. Zach was supposed to bring them, but he didn't show up.
If you're actually serious about that, jump on. Don't just say stuff like that. If you're joking, ha ha ha. But if you're actually serious about that, Austin, I'll send a link and you could jump on and you could tell us why.
Yeah.
You could tell us why it is better to not give a minority character their own identity. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the racist practice of race swapping characters. Not racist towards the white character itself, but racist towards the black character that now has no true identity of their own beyond what they could scrape off of the white character. I want to know if you truly, truly believe that my saying that black characters should have their own personality, their own identity, their own name is akin to a freaking Klan meeting, then jump the freaking heck on and back that shit up. Don't snipe from the freaking comment section. I want to hear why you think it is better to not give black characters their own identity. And let's not freaking mince words and say, well, what you really mean is, because I'm telling you exactly what I really mean.
And if you're being a joking full manner that's meant to be, they put a LL at the end. Otherwise, you think you're being serious. I don't know why. And that I just laugh at that. You think that's actually what you really thought this was.
Exactly.
I mean, it means you've never watched anything on this channel before.
To be frank, in disguise, a majority of modern creative, especially writers who are for some reason afraid to give minority characters flaws. That is true. That is true. Well, because it would not be received. They try in the past, and look how well that works. So you're saying don't make an original black character because you want to skip the fucking line? Because you don't want to put in the work? Because you don't want the promotion? You don't want an original black character? Are you serious about that? Here, I've got to drop this.
Yeah, Miles Morales was an original character and had more meaning in the Ultimate Universe. This is for
Austin Kelly. Austin, get on here. I want you to explain why there cannot be an original black character, because you think that nobody will read an original black character.
And if you're not comfortable with me and the black capping on her, we'll go back.
And the two others will drop. But then you also have to tell me why you wouldn't read that original black character. If it's written well, I will read anything. If it's written well, I'll read whatever. I like a good comic. I love a good one. So Austin, back that shit up. Come on in. Come on in. You are, and if you need VENKMAN and Black Cat to drop out, they will drop out. Well, see, I in all honesty, Austin, I think it's incredible madness. And I think that is something that we as readers should not back up. Even if you think you agree with it, you really shouldn't back it up, because it is racist practice. It's a racist practice to take the Falcon, who's been around for 60 years. The Falcon is Marvel's original African-American character. His entire purpose when he first came out was to protect the people of Harlem. He was Captain America's partner.
The thing is
and they're acting, the writers and artists are acting like it's a promotion to put him as Captain America, to strip him of his identity and give him the name Captain America.
Fair to Sam Wilson, yeah, I would never want to make him Captain America, because why is Captain America better than Falcon? Why can't Falcon be the better of the Captain America? You can't drop a Falcon
obviously more? Captain America is more popular, so the name Captain America
only because they make him that way.
But to treat it, and I, in all honesty, if he was still the Falcon and he wore the suit and everything and he kept his identity, fine. But to act like it's a freaking promotion is goddamn racist. It really is. To not give a black character their own identity is racist. Miles Morales should have had his own identity from the very beginning. And when we got into the Spider-Verse, it should have been his own identity. Because I'll tell you what, the only great Miles Morales story is that freaking movie. Go on ahead, Venk. Sorry.
I was gonna say it's kind of cheapened because, well, as soon as they put Sam in the costume, Steve was back, so it was only short-lived. So it's like, what was the point of that? If Steve was going to stay dead and he took on the legacy and he was supporting a dead friend, that's one thing. But even then, it's we know that characters don't stay dead. So I just would rather them prop up the Falcon, let Steve be dead. And let him give us more Falcon titles by himself. Why does he have to be called Captain America in order for him to be front and center?
Well, and that's the only part of the MCU thing. Of course, I didn't like Falcon and the Winter Soldier anyway, But in the movies, it makes more sense than in the comic. They had a mage up. We do know that Chris. Oh goodness, I'm getting them mixed up. Chris Evans is not interested in playing the character anymore, and I can understand the guy's getting to the point where staying in Captain America's shape has to be exhausting. It's the same with the Wolverine and such I mentioned. So it actually makes more sense to put Falcon in the role. Mackie, in great shape, by the way, can actually let himself go a little more because he's got the big suit.
I will just say this, though. The only thing I think is funny, though, having someone who doesn't have super soldier serum trying to throw that heavy shield and without breaking their arm.
I thought, yeah, I know. It's not just it's not the throwing, it's the catching when it comes back.
That's why people said you give it to Bucky, because Bucky has the super soldier serum.
Mm-hmm. He's got the super soldier serum, and
yes.
I'm okay with Chris Evans not playing Cap anymore. His Twitter is cancer. They don't even have to kill Cap. They could give Falcon his own book. And but the problem with it is along with taking the identities, the problem with giving the identities or some are actually modern day book writers, they make stereotypes out of all the minority characters nowadays. It's ridiculous. They make them Mary Sue, not really telling the stories that they would if the characters were white. They're not ignoring the race and just telling the story. And that's one of the big problems, I think, with modern day.
Yeah,
Sam was also a best friend and ally to Steve when he was given the shield due to Cap having the super soldier serum taken away from him by Iron Cross. He would have kept his Falcon identity. Yeah, Captain Falcon or Falcap or whatever it was.
As far as Bucky becoming Cap, I didn't like that either. Like I said, I don't like anybody taking over somebody else's name.
Miles Morales is a cheap man spy. He is a good character. Of course, you know what I say all the time. There are no bad characters, only bad writers. Given his own identity, we saw into the Spider-Verse was awesome. This was the Iron Heart or Captain America, both, right? It's a shallow change. They don't even have. Okay, we read that one. I'm okay with. Okay, he sucked. Did anyone have a problem when Bucky came? Yes. Yes, they did. I've seen that argument before, and that's ridiculously stupid.
Also, I don't want Ben.
Austin, but that's you're okay, Austin. You're arguing off of Twitter, and we're not Twitter. We actually talk to people here. But you're making the same one line. You're hoping it's a gotcha kind of thing. But that happens on Twitter. But when people can actually explain things, it doesn't sit. Yes, people had trouble with Bucky becoming. People had trouble with Bucky just being alive. But him being Captain America, sorry, it wasn't all that great, and people didn't like Bucky as Captain America.
Ben Reilly right now being Spider-Man. Peter's been basically shoveled it.
People didn't like Ben Reilly as Spider-Man. Yes, that's true.
There's so many characters that come over and take over. I liked it when Wally West, after the first crisis, Barry's dead. He had a good death, solid death. That he was gone. So he had Wally shining. He had a family and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, we're at Jeff Johns. I'm bringing back Barry. And it's like, okay, I guess Wally, I'll just get tossed aside again. It's then it's just they kept creating new characters. They created Wallace. It just got to the point where there was needless characters being created instead of respecting the original character.
Now, normally I don't highlight unless there's a super chat. And by the way, guys, you can do super chat if you want. If it wasn't for the MCU, Falcon would still suck. Only 3 black characters in the history of comic books were ever cool: Storm, Black Panther, and a guy named Luck, I guess.
What about Luke Cage?
I get maybe that's what they're trying to what he's trying to say.
I don't know.
Luke Cage. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, this is the person that started out saying it was a Klan rally, but can't think of more than 3 black characters. By all means, I invite the chat not to attack, but to mention cool black characters.
Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific and Black Lightning, definitely those two.
Mr. Terrific, the chairperson of the JSA in the 2000s.
Yes.
Back when people were keeping the black characters down.
Or even in that same JSA, Thunderbolt. See, I mean, there are definitely during the 90s, a lot of people like Bishop.
Yeah, Bishop was a really big
Cyborg from Teen Titans. There are great black characters. You know who I liked?
John Stewart
from the Flash. John Stewart, freaking John, the guy who should have been in the freaking Green Lantern.
Shock, man.
Yeah,
Static Shock was popular in the 90s.
Static had a car. You know, first of all, the original Milestone line could take it.
Icon, Rocket.
These are cool, but you may not like them. Doesn't mean that they're not cool characters.
There's Miguel O'Hara is better
Miguel
than Miles Morales, says Rhaegar.
Miguel O'Hara taking over for Spider-Man in the main universe made sense because it's in 2099. Peter Parker.
Miles Morales. I think Miles. I'll tell you what. I've said this before. I did a series called If I Wrote for a little bit, just a few videos of it. Miles Morales is a character I think that's waiting for his big shot. Into the Spider-Verse was that big shot. He's finally popular. Let's put a story like that into comics. Another character I think, and I know a lot of people don't like this, but I think Kamala Khan could be one of the great new characters. She just has been mired by modern day comic book writing, which hates to elevate characters naturally. They love to tell you, oh, isn't this a great character? But they really don't write them that way. What is a great Captain Marvel story in the last 10 years?
Yeah.
You know, they just...
John Stewart was not just a Lantern.
I like the part where he just said John Stewart was okay, but he was just a Lantern.
John Stewart is considered the most popular Lantern right now.
Vixen is really cool as well. Bumblebee, as Moron is saying. Let's see. I like that. No bad characters, but bad writers. That's exactly how it is, Rhaegar. As Pat Morita Miyagi would say, there are no bad student, only bad teacher. Teacher say, student do. I love the fact that, by the way, Pat Morita is like a California guy. So he's not exact. He doesn't sound Japanese. Bucky sucks his cap. Don't get me started on Ben Reilly, the only person
like Iron Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fans also took issue with Barry coming back to life through Barry was a better corpse. He was a better memory.
He had the perfect death.
Well, and he was a great mentor to Wally West, to the point where he was a better character dead than he was alive. When Wally West would remember him with honor. That's my take on it anyway. I do appreciate the 1970s and 80s Flash. Actually, I like the 60s too. They're silly stories and some fun. But I got to tell you, when Mike Baron took over in Flash #1, and with Wally West, that's where it was really like, holy crap! Now they're cooking with gas. And when Mark Waid took over, that is when the Flash became a real big deal character to me.
Another character I like right now, and is Valzad, and then the other one. I think the Valzad is the Superman from the other Earth, right? The one that's supposed to be the president.
No, that's the president's. I forgot what his name is.
Cal Ellis. That's what it is.
Mr. Terrific was awesome, and the Terrific. I love the Terrifics. That was such a great run.
They're both good as Superman, but they're just knockoff icons. They could have just used the icon to do the same thing.
Oh, by the way, welcome, Austin. I'm going to say that to a new viewer. Welcome. Don't forget Blade. That more black characters aren't considered cool is the fault of the writers and editors. Let's see.
When Mike passed
on, not backing the characters and instead being lazy and painting a white character black. We have plenty of cool characters who happen to be minorities, says Dominic Powell. For decades, including those of different political viewpoints, they were treated with respect and had their own character arcs. Dr. Voodoo. Yeah, I think everybody likes him. Now, I got to tell you, I remember in the 80s, Dr. Voodoo, because the way he was dressed was, I think he was treated as kind of a joke. Rhodey, War Machine.
Austin,
and Deathlock is a black character as well as Spawn.
I'm just curious, Austin, how old are you, and when did you start reading comic books?
Yeah. Let's see. John Stewart was and is an amazing Green Lantern. The thing is John Stewart is his own own person. And we were introduced to Rhodey before he became Iron Man, so he was his own character. Yeah. We were introduced to him long before. The biggest problem is the name Kamala Khan. His biggest foe, probably 100 plus issues now, and she's never had a villain. Hey, we're gonna go and hang out and read comics, and then I'm gonna one punch of well, that's what I'm saying. It's modern day comic writing that's really messed up some of these characters because they're afraid to put them in danger. I wonder if the that cover, Eric said it was never supposed to be a deal, but with the Batgirl scared people. Barry was a great martyr, says Stahilium. I agree. Then when Mike passed on, Willem Mesolobes took over. I'm never living it down, guys. I'm never living it down.
Breen, should you be making jokes about people passing on? Leave it to the professionals.
Let's see. I love the first Blade movie, but trust me, I need to pick up. Now, here's a speaking of that, by the way. We're going to be doing, I think, 4 more episodes of Jeopardy. Unfortunately, we're losing viewers on Jeopardy, so I'm going to cancel it. But this is the prize for the tournament we're having. And this does have early Blade stories as well. But this is there's a tournament, a Jeopardy tournament going on, and that is the main prize. We're going to give some of the other players a chance. Moron's got one more game, and we've got a couple more games with I believe Black Cat, Jughead, and so forth and so on. And we'll see how it goes. I might record the video, but unfortunately, there's the last game of Jeopardy hasn't even hit 100 views. We're losing viewers on them. So
like I said, record those offline and just cut it down the time.
Yep. Let's see. Kyle Rayner isn't black, but he was Latina though, right?
Something like that.
But that came out later.
Yeah.
That was shown later. He's half Latino, half Irish. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
John Stewart he's being a former Marine Corps and all that stuff. He has the knowledge stuff. He's proven time and time again that he's the better Lantern. Where they try to shove it down the fact that Kyle is the greatest Lantern.
I'm gonna take care of the bird.
Which kind of really irked me. I was like, really? You're just gonna put John aside? John, who didn't even want to be a Lantern at first, from my understanding.
No, John lost his powers around that time, so Kyle had to take
over.
But he had the bigger fan base. But then they
John I'm saying like later on, still today, people are trying to say Kyle's the better one. I was like, what?
That
too, remember? They're trying to the White Lantern.
Yeah, but that's because of the Wally thing as well. The '90s fans grew up with Kyle, so they have a bigger attachment to him. While the people who watch the cartoons attach themselves to John. Older fans have Hal, and nobody likes Guy.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, Guy was popular. He had his own series and everything.
But he wasn't popular as Green Lantern that much.
No, he was popular as a Red Lantern.
Who are we talking about?
Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner. He was popular in the 90s, guys.
No, yeah.
He was popular in the 90s.
But as Warrior.
Well, no, he was popular as Guy Gardner and as Warrior. Here you go. Come on over. Come on.
The whole goal is not bringing close to Mike.
You know, like you have the Hal Jordan fans, you have the Kyle Rayner fans, and you have the John Stewart fans. You don't have Guy Gardner doesn't have that established fan base like others.
That's true. Hey. What is your problem?
You know what guys are fans for? Getting punched.
Shush.
Literally, that's what guys famous for is getting punched by Batman.
Also mooning Batman.
Yes, mooning. Yes, that's the other thing.
Here you go.
Yeah.
All right.
But like I said, John Stewart, I is probably one of the best DC characters around, especially when it comes to lanterns.
This happened to I bought a copy of Mage. I found a Mage comic. I remember Dominic. I couldn't find 2 of the books he bought. I found one of them, and they're on their way. Animal number 25, but I couldn't find the other one, so I got a Mage copy. And then Twiddles autographed it. just like that. And I was like, God dang it, Twins.
It's gone.
Yeah, I can't leave comics laying around because out of the bag and backing board, or Twiddles autographs them. Hey, kiddo,
Guy was, I agree. He was refreshing to see, this guy. He's such an abrasive attitude against everybody. He's a dick. But he had his moments where he was awesome.
Go on. No, don't bite me. What the hell? All right, I loved how happy Guy was to get his ring back in Green Lantern Rebirth. Let's see. Guy wasn't so bad. Let's see. These days, sadly, the list of villains, especially new ones, are not diverse per se. The main census checkbox for the modern villain is white straight male. Rarely white straight female. That's the one thing that gets me every time, though, is how they're afraid to tell. It seems like they're afraid to tell stories. So they're definitely afraid to write new ones. And we're getting rehashes of old things. Now we're getting the death of Superman, but with Justice League.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
It's not gonna be, if they make Garl Gardner. It's gonna be Garl Gardner. It's called Gal Gardner. If you remember, you read the Warriors. That's already been done in the comic books. We had a female.
Austin Kelly saying, now as a creator, I do not agree with the race swapping. If I make a character black or white, that's how the character should stay. And by the way, once again, let me say this here. Everybody is invited. It's not just when I'm hyped up and I'm like, oh, let's go. Everybody is invited. If you have something to say on a topic, ask for the link. You can come on in and say, if you do come in and you try to start something like you say a racial slur, you say something horrific or anything like that, obviously that will be the last time you're on. I have a zero tolerance on racial slurs or on slurs in general, whether it be race or based on sexuality or whatever. And but you are welcome to come on and give a try if you but I do have to put that warning out there because
but don't get us wrong, you are allowed to have your different opinions as you don't have to. We're not a giant like one track circle tank. You have my take. You're allowed to express your opinions, but be warned, when you express your opinions, you will be challenged because not everybody agrees.
That's why a lot of people don't take me up on that answer on the invite. By the way, that's the.
But nothing's personal. This is all nerd.
The one thing I get the most when I offer people to come on, like on Twitter or something, you'll never listen, and I'm gonna listen. I might not change my mind, but I'm gonna listen. Yeah. Don't want to catch the bird flu, says Almighty Jack. Hey, all you catch from Twiddles is the sense of his awesomeness. It's like, hey,
he's great when you take a photo of him.
No, he's acting like a little. He's acting like a little today, right now. I think he's mad that he's been shut up for so long. Yeah. There you go. Come on.
He's an old man. He's 10 years old.
There you go. Why don't you have a seat there? Just relax. Relax.
Right on.
No, relax. I said relax. Oh, I'm not. Here you go. Here you go. I know you like that too. You can climb on.
Don't need no.
Denzel playing Macbeth is cool to me, says Rhaegar. Yeah, I haven't seen that. Is that good? I want to see it.
True. Justice Society versus Justice League. Is Justice Society better? Worse? Same?
Oh,
I prefer Justice Society.
That's what Trusty's saying. I prefer Justice Society because they're more family.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but and
by the way, other bands out there will to say, no, they're boring. I like the rich. I like, Superman.
By the way, Indie Comics is bringing up the fact that they have race swapped Jake from State Farm. That kid's got a great smile. Give that to him, okay?
Do not change the AT&T girl, or there'll be a riot.
And make her Squirrel Girl, for Christ's sake.
Yes,
let her have her Squirrel Girl.
Let her go nuts.
Yeah, right? Old man twiddles, that old man. By the way, I do get, if anybody is watching and has watched the videos and went, you need to get, what is that noise? It's him. This is the bird. This twiddles, new people twiddles.
It's also the real reason he's got in here is so we can talk about boring things. The chirp wakes you up.
There you go. Yes. Actually, I got to tell you, I was talking to Eric about this, and I said, "Does Twiddles really bother you that much?" And he goes, "It's white noise to me at this point." To me too. Unless I'm recording and there is a tweet that he does. It's like a string of them, and then he'll start banging on the cage. I'm like, okay, I got to get a hold of him. And but otherwise, yeah, it is kind of background noise to me.
Okay, new fun game. Austin Kelly's comment. Think about this. All our favorite characters have been established for years, and unfortunately, they were made in different times.
Okay.
Let's list a few recent characters that we all enjoy.
I mentioned two that I think could be brilliant if they were written as if you were writing a white character. And by I don't mean make them white, but when people write white, let me explain before anybody gets on the holy crap that he's a racist though. When even black people are writing a white character, they don't think and worry about adding stuff in because they're of a white person. They write the story, but black characters, minority characters these days, not in the past, but these days don't get that. And unfortunately, that makes a lot of the stories with them weaker for it. Write them as human beings, not as a demographic. Mm-hmm. And that's why I believe that Kamala Khan's got held back. That's why I believe that that Miles Morales has gotten held back. I think Moon Girl would have been brilliant had it been an out of continuity story and more of a Secret Life of Walter Mitty kind of thing, where you kind of question, is the dinosaur real or not? Sort of like the Snuffleupagus in the Sesame Street.
Is it the imaginary friend or is it a real dinosaur?
Yeah, Moon Girl. Real? Moon Girl could have been a great character. I like I said before, there are no bad characters. There are only bad writers. So I think those are three that could have been awesome. America Chavez, I would have to depower her. Apparently she punches holes in reality and stuff. I'm sorry, but think about what you're saying here.
Last I checked, she was kind of depowered. Her powers were fluctuating. And then she found out her origin was a lie.
Oh my gosh, Trusty Sidekick just made me realize I was I just pitched Calvin and Hobbes with a black girl, didn't I? Yep. But hey, you know what? Yes. Make that. I just race swapped and race and gender swapped Calvin and Hobbes. But yeah, there you go.
Hobbes will be played by Black Panther himself.
Luke Cage was awesome when they introduced him into the Spider-Man books. Him being hired by Jameson to take out Spider-Man because he was a original hero for hire. That was a great introduction for him.
Well, oh, by the way, I told the story, so older readers or older viewers, excuse me, I'm going to repeat myself like I often do.
Tune away for 5 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yep. But I was in the comic shop with my daughter, and we were looking at statues. You know, I like to collect some statues. And we came across two right next to each other. One was Power Man, and one was Luke Cage. And I was like, okay, look at these statues. Which one do you want? And she points to the Power Man, yellow blouse, chain belt, blue slacks, boots, the pirate boots, the tiara, the whole 9 yards. And I said, so why? She goes, he looks like a regular guy. I said, exactly. Yeah, this is a superhero. This is the guy you see at the shop and go. Yeah, it's just I think they've dumbed they messed up Luke Cage by not letting him be Power Man, I think.
I mean, in a sense, if they're going where he is an escaped criminal, he's trying to keep a low thing. That's why he wear the hoodie. But like, yeah, I mean, if he's going for the flashy tier and all stuff like that, like
if he's in the Avengers, he give him a costume. Come on. Let's see, like when people write Latinos, the character talks about immigration. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Just tell the story.
I would agree that like get something that's fire resistant, because as soon as he gets blasted by anything, those clothes are gonna shred right off. Yeah.
Marvel and DC doesn't let white people write non-white characters anymore unless their name is Bendis. My gosh, I haven't made it through the first episode of that show, by the way. It's so boring. Y'all keep telling y'all told me Hawkeye's at the end of it. I can't make it to the end. Let's see. Luke Cage is a great character, says Austin, but we have to admit he literally is a walking stick. That's a writer's problem right there. That goes to what I was saying. They're not writing Luke Cage. They're writing, hey, didn't we see this in the news? And isn't this how black guys act? My son gave me a Mike Coulter Luke Cage statue for Sweet Christmas one year. It's pretty cool, says Trusty Sidekick. Yeah, I'm looking for that Power Man. Actually, I need a Power Girl so I could put that next to my first appearance. That's my next statue, I think. As a black man, I love. Thank you for not saying a POC. I love him, but I cringed when I see a Power Man outfit. He doesn't need. You don't like the yellow blouse and the tiara. I love it. I love it.
I admit I was more towards the Netflix costume.
Yeah.
When he looked at the tiara, he's like, no.
the thing is, and here's the thing. I have loved the character of Power Man since I was a kid. And I found the comics at the Shop and Go is real, by the way. That was our local convenience store. It's closed now, but it was 50 years ago. What you going to do? And I just thought that Power Man was the most awesome character for a while. Not a long time, because I discovered Teen Titans and all that kind of stuff. But
to be fair, when he came out, it was like the 70s. That was the style back then. That's why he had that costume. Now they updated his costume because, well, it doesn't really fit with today's culture and stuff, you know.
Well, as a black man, I would like to say that back in the 70s also, you had people doing what they're doing now. They're trying to write the demographic, and they're not trying to write a character. So what you would see is what a white guy thought a black guy in Harlem talked about, and it was something as a kid I never noticed, but as an adult, I was like, I don't think black people actually, none of the black people near me talk like this.
Well, it looks like in current Marvel, I mean, if Devil's Reign is even going to affect outside of its own little thing, it looks like Luke Cage, they're going to make him mayor of New York.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of interesting to see, because we've had Matt Murdock, we've had Kingpin. I kind of see what Luke Cage can do. Now, take it with a grain of salt. If the people are writing it, you know, it's Chip Zdarsky, but anybody else who takes that character after Chip Zdarsky, you could get Vita Alea or something like that. Someone who just hates, you know, this. Vita Alea, I'll call it. She is a bigot. There's no way around it. Things that she said, you know, it is horrible. I will not repeat them.
Let's see. It's pretty annoying that at the big two, where now just about every black character is just angry black person. Yeah.
Oh, that is true.
That's one of the things. That's why it just doesn't seem like they're treating characters like characters. They're demographics at this point. It's Eric, pretty okay. I agree with you. Oh, talking about the 1970s with the hey, you jive turkey, you. Power to the people. Yeah, it really does. It's kind of like Bob Haney in the 60s. Hey, fella kids. I had to wait so long. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to reply back real quickly, because the thing with the mayor thing. Eric said that Jameson was a mayor too, and I forgot about that. Is Jameson at that point? I don't think he knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, but I don't think he abused it, did he? His powers, where, you know, the other mayors didn't really do much. So it's weird how they were putting now. You remember the mayors used to be nobodies? now like the characters are becoming mayors. We've seen those with Oliver Queen. Do we need to keep the next person? Who's gonna be mayor in DC? We're gonna have Batman.
Okay, Oliver Queen thing, that was back in 2005 or 2006.
I know, but it's funny that they keep putting characters in, like, you know, they're popular heroes. They're now going to be the mayor.
Also, he was a stand-in senator once.
Can you imagine that?
And speaking of what we were talking about online, Joker was the Iranian ambassador to the UN.
Yeah, that was in the Death of Robin storyline.
Yeah, so it's
I read that last week.
Yeah, me too. I read it recently as well. Yeah.
That trope needs to go away. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so Trusty is saying I had to wait so long for my Adam Hughes Zatanna statue that the company I purchased from felt bad and gave me another Adam statue. Wow, that is good customer service. Yeah. Babs was a congressperson, so yeah, we've had a lot of
congresswoman. Respect it.
Oh, I wanted to do this. This is a stupid show off thing, but because I know when you get YouTubers and they get a little cash on them, they show off all the awesome expensive clothes they got. I went to Walmart and for $10 I got a pack of DC Comics Batman socks.
Harley Quinn socks. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, they come in different characters and everything.
You won't read her, but you'll wear her.
Oh, I'll wear her. Yeah. Are you kidding me? She can wear me anyway. Yep. Yeah, the Penguin. Hey, it's Penguin Teen. Yeah. Yeah, I like the character socks and all that. I actually somewhere they got lost in the move, but I have Universal movies, so it's like Jaws, Back to the Future, and Star Trek, all sorts of stuff like that. So,
do you see SeaWorld socks?
Not yet. Not yet. I actually, but this is a little something. I was like, this something I normally don't show off. It's like, yeah, I like character socks. What's gonna?
Austin Kelly, it is true. They're making comics too much like the real world, where they have, whether your feelings are on Trump or whatever it is, they're putting them into the books. I don't care about the whole immigration and all stuff. If you want to see a bad story, watch anything they do with Supergirl on CW. That was literally what they're putting into their comic books.
Well, then part of the problem though is also that they only come from one side.
That's
They're
true.
Not, and the other side is evil. They're not willing to have a debate between Superman and Green Lantern or Green Arrow and say, I take this side, I take that side. This is the points I would make. This is the points I'll make. It's now Superboy coming out and telling, of all people, Superman, he's not doing enough because he hasn't beaten climate change. I'm sorry, Tom Taylor. Can you go get Superboy while we're waiting here, please?
Comics are meant to be escaped from the real world, not where it's another version of the real world.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Trusty said, I got some Pal Biff band. Don't you bite me. What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah.
You do not want that to go the other direction.
Kal-El didn't do enough to save the world. He didn't protest. He didn't go after politicians like that.
Yeah.
Instead, he fought against kaiju monsters, helped people that were in a flood. They're in the post-crisis, went against Darkseid. Instead, he shouldn't have been doing that. He should have ignored them and should have went to Congress and demanded that they do better.
It's the DC universe. They had a story where they blew up the moon 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
Like I said, I'm reading post-crisis DC Comics, and it is so much more fun to read than anything going on now.
These are Punisher Riddler socks. They're green. So
I thought of the Black Riddler as far as the suit and everything. The purple, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm looking at that going, that's actually pretty good.
It's better than the current movie costume.
Hey, I disagree. I like that costume, by the way. I am so looking forward to that movie, man. It looks so freaking.
He needs a flamethrower to go and a gas mask to go with that jacket.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I saw on there were some character socks that were out and then they went away. So I went on Amazon to try to find them. They're now like $25. They're the 90s X-Men socks. Yeah.
That's Batman.
Yeah. Well, hey, good going there, Venkman.
Yeah.
You could be a comic collector now.
Now with X-Men books, don't want that. They're too diverse.
No, well, yeah, right. It was the no, I'm talking about the character things. Let's see. Can't see him. It's green. They're forgetting about the escape part that comes from. Well, exactly. That's why a lot of times, we may talk like on Mondays. This is our open mic night, and we may talk about the bad stuff. But that's also why we do on Fridays. We just read an old comic, and we make it like a play. And we understand. We call it bad comic theater because we're not actors. But we want to highlight some of the cool things that we love. We want to show off that, hey, you know what? Comic books haven't always been this way. Some of them are pretty freaking awesome. And so we would show off the Silver Age, the Golden Age, these awesome books that are out there. Black History Month is coming out, and I got to tell you guys, I still want to do it. I've got the very first comic book that was ever published by a Black-owned publisher, and I would love to do that, but I think I would get thrown off Twitter.
You know what kills me is that people,
or I would get thrown off YouTube.
People will wait just for Black History Month to talk about anything that's black.
Yeah, I know
the culture. It should be not all cultures actually. They should all be talked about all year long,
and they all should be put into February because it's the longest month. But no, actually, I thought what we should make it a whole different month just to throw a finger up at it, because it's like, wait, what? Why aren't we doing this in
June? You can only talk about Pride Month in June, nowhere else.
I talk about Pride Month in July, and it's American Pride Month.
That's March Madness is in July. No,
July is American Pride Month, where we do patriotic heroes. Yeah.
I look at this. It's another Hallmark thing. That's what it sounds like. We're gonna create a thing so we can have cards and sell cards to people.
Almighty Jack is saying Krenez bit me and I pinned it on Twiddles. Justice for Twiddles. Superman did try to ban nukes, of course. Superman 4 for climate change stuff. Remember what happened after the white Martians replanted the Sahara, right?
Well, actually, climate change, that was actually the Eradicator in the post-crisis. Superman.
AOC would make a great character type. I think Chuck Dixon might have had that in mind when he wrote the Robin Hood Justice arc for Xenoscope.
Yeah, I just read that Superman had brought back the Eradicator device, chucked it into the Antarctic because I need to get rid of this. He chucks it into the Antarctic instead of chucking it into space. And then he forgets about it. And while it's doing that, it's melting the polar ice caps and they flooded half of Metropolis. Now, they didn't list any deaths, but I'm thinking, how many people really died in that? So Superman is a villain. Jimmy Olsen was affected by an alien virus caused by the Eradicator, and because Superman coming back from space exile. Now he has stretch powers, and it's killing him. Now that's Jerry Ordway. So I mean, it's just funny how certain things are done in comic books and get overlooked.
I tried to go to Comixology. They didn't let me.
I don't know.
I hate it when they do this where I tried to sign in and then they're like, no, you gotta re-sign in here. And now they're wanting to call me on my cell phone that I lost a long time ago. Shit. This is how we do our readings, guys. As I get on Comixology or the DC thing, I had the AOC comic, and I was going to show it off because I know we got to do a bad comic beatdown on it or something. Let's see. Should read X-Men for Black History Month, Age of Apocalypse. It would be a great start. Well, I wanted to do what were we going to do for that? We were talking about
New Avengers Annual 1, the marriage thing around the 14th.
We're gonna be doing the marriage between Black. Oh yeah, I talked about doing weddings also because it's February, but it's also Black History Month. I wanted to start like tomorrow with all Negro comics. That is the very first comic book that was ever published by a Black company, and it's not something a lot of people talk about. And I would like to highlight it because it was a thing.
I didn't even know it was even a thing until you brought it up. I mean, I assume there's comic books, but I didn't know what they were and where to find them. I saw
a video and some guy we're going to talk to my friend. He's a comic collector. He's got many rare comics and he's talking about it. He says, okay, well, show me what's your most rare comic? And that's the one he gave him. It was a slabbed copy of All Negro Comics. And he says, and he looks disappointed. I'm watching it going, oh my freaking God. He had 2. And he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And this guy's like, yeah, you got any Superman or Batman? Okay, yeah, we get it.
Eric Breen says, we cannot do Age of Apocalypse. There are more parts than E.
That is true. Well, he's not, wasn't it Apocalypse Omega, Alpha, Beta, and then you had all all of the miniseries as well.
If you want to listen to a bunch of white guys, just do multiple roles,
Yeah, it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
I don't care what month or day. If it isn't one of like 8 holidays and my birthday, when Rome fell, they had more holidays on their calendar than normal work days. Did Mal and Bumblebee have a wedding issue? I don't think they did.
Storm and Panther had a wedding.
Storm and Panther, Spider-Man and Mary Jane, Reed and Sue, Lois and Clark.
I want to read some Miles Morales. That's what I want to read. Ultimate version.
Okay.
Not the new stuff. No.
It's actually not bad, by the way. I have read it, Austin. It's not bad. It's 1940s. So, and it's not the most
public size, Yeah.
Well, no, I'm trying to say like the art is very CC Beck. When like Captain Marvel was very like what am I trying to say? The backgrounds aren't exactly intricate. So it's very simple art and very simple storytelling. There's a detective in there. There's and then you have, of course, the jungle guy. Lion Man, I believe his name was. What is that freaking detective's name?
You want to talk about how racist Marvel is in DC? Look at how they do it whenever there's a black character on there. Different shades it use, and some words just like Billy Gray. Some, other words were brown, and it's just got the point where, especially Storm, and I think it was also Black Panther. They kept changing the skin tone depending on who it was, because some people thought, well, she should be more light skinned, where other people back in the day that are more dark. It is weird how we've gone from no one knew what color tint to use. So early days, you look at a black character, they'd be dark gray. I always thought that was weird. Just choose one color and stick with that. Because if they're gonna go that route, then when you draw Southerner, some of these guys have the dark tans. You're not Mexican, you're white. It's weird how that's the skin color that they choose, but nobody has established skin color that they use as far as when it comes to certain characters.
Yeah, well, in the I don't know if you're bringing up like how they wrote and draw black people or just minorities in particular, but if you're an older comic book reader, if you're an older black comic book reader, you were portrayed as kind of Hershey's kind of color, or it was way too black, or it was this gray coloring.
Yeah, the gray coloring is weird.
Well, back in the day, if you tried to actually do the proper black hue, it would look like a 1940s cartoon parody. So I don't think that would go over very well.
It was just interesting to see that in the gray, but then as it got it throughout the ages, you see how it went from gray. I don't think you even see gray anymore. They don't use that tone at all. Mm-hmm. Now it's more and Storm is a perfect example. She's supposed to be from Africa. She's not African American. She's from Africa. She is, supposed to be a certain color, and they just kept lighting her up. It's the point where it's she doesn't even look black anymore.
Yeah, that actually I did it.
She looked more mixed race.
I did that video on Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, where she was kind of based on oh my gosh, what is her Foxy Brown?
Cleopatra?
Nope. Well, yeah, Cleopatra Jones. What was her name?
Misty.
No, somebody's gonna tell me. I know because I've got people old enough. The actress that played Foxy Brown.
Oh, somebody Google it. Quick.
She was based on that actress. God dang. Pam Grier. Thank you, Moranya. She was based on Pam Grier, so she was a whole lot of woman, big old and just nice everywhere. And then you could see that they lightened up her skin. But yeah, I've got a video called The Racist History of Monica Rambeau on this channel. Please check it out if you haven't done it already. Monica Rambeau was my Captain Marvel. because at that point in time, Marvell had died, and she's the one that came in.
Clint's pointing out that he feels that DC made Vixen later collection as it went on. Monica Rambeau, he was on the version too. No.
Yeah, I searched it up. Malin Bumblebee got married off panel.
So okay, now Arnie's correcting me. It's saying that Storm is a mixed race. She had a white father and an African mom. I did not know.
No, I think her dad was black but American. Like, yeah, her dad was from American. Her mom was, I think.
If you can cite what volume that's from, what comic, if you know offhand, anybody looking up or who's watching.
Wait, what are we asking?
I just
Storm's father, parents.
Dad.
I remember it was them in whatever it was when they were in Banshee's mansion, Banshee's castle. They had a flashback to Storm's origin, and her dad was a reporter, and he was black, I think. Yeah. If let's see,
the point still stands though. They kept letting her.
She played Smallville. That's right. She played Smallville's Amanda Waller. Says MK. I remember that.
Oh right.
Because she was in Checkmate at the time in that show. Yeah, it sucks. I'm a mocha colored brother or color brother. Yeah, didn't Storm have blue eyes? Yep. Moron, you're saying yep. Storm had blue eyes. She was mid-range coffee color back in the day. One of the best. I sold one of the best Storm covers of all time. That one where she's kind of losing it after Dr. Doom took him. Just
best the last Storm cosplayer.
Forgot Monica. Staying correct. She was awesome. Yes, she was.
Monica is another character in Marvel is pretty much given the shaft. Sometimes they change your name.
You know what? I've said this before, and but the fact that I when I'm talking about Monica Rambeau and I get to the 2000s and they take away her name for the second time to give it to the same character, because she was Captain Marvel after Marvel, she was Captain Marvel, and so the son of Captain Marvel comes along and says, "No, I want to be Captain Marvel because you know my father," and she's like, "Aha, it should be you," and so here, take my name. You're now Captain Marvel. I'll be like phase on or something like that, and then in the 2000s the same character comes, says, "No, I want your name again," and and Monica Rambeau goes, "Okay." So they start calling her Auntie Monica for a while, and I just reported that. I had no idea about this, but the comment section was rife with people going, "Did they seriously call her Auntie Monica? That is a slur." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." You learn something new every day.
Other than Photon, she was another one too. Spectrum, didn't she? Or some other.
Yeah, Spectrum was one of the names. Yeah.
Spectrum is, I think, the one they're going with in the TV show.
Yeah.
Also, link in the private chat for Rose's dad.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there's characters, by the way, in the comic book I want to do. There's characters, Ace Harlem, who's kind of like a Dick Tracy style detective. And then you have Lion Man, I believe. Lion Man, not Jungle Man. Lion Man is the character. He's coming up. I'm scrolling down here as I look. But these are actually decent stories, and I looked at it. I was like, "Wow, really? They never did more than one issue."
Probably is another hero. He's not a hero. He's a villain, but was another character I liked. And I think they changed who it was. I thought it was Hobie, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Was it? I don't know if it was a show or cartoon. There's so many different origins. Brown? Hobie Brown. Yeah, he was. That was Robbie's son, right? From Spider-Man.
No, Robbie Roberts' son. I think it was different.
But wasn't it also? I'm saying, wasn't that in one of the versions? Wasn't that the Spider-Man cartoon of the '90s? And then they changed it to the dads.
I think like the cartoons changed a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then there's just certain things that wouldn't fly today. That's why.
And then Miles Morales' uncle is now the Prowler.
The Prowler, yeah.
That was an ultimate version. I don't know what it is in the current season.
One of my favorite Storm stories was when she beat up Cyclops and became the leader of X-Men without powers. I didn't like. I'm a Cyclops fan, and I think he's a better leader than Storm in that. And but they explained it away because he was worried about Madeline about to have the baby and all that kind of stuff. But as far as Storm's, I didn't like the getting rid of her powers. I loved what was it? The story with her and Forge. Those are probably my favorite Storms, but I can't think of them right now. The name I just sold them.
Life something.
Say again?
A life something, lifeblood or life something.
Yeah, I sold it in the auction
Vampire?
a couple of weeks ago. No, the one she just lost her powers and she's staying with Forge, and there's 2 chapters.
Life Death.
But
Life Death. Yeah, that's it. Life Death.
It's it was great stories though. Great Storm stories.
I think it was a 3-parter.
I thought there were only 2 chapters because it wasn't consecutive.
Yeah, what's his name? Claremont says that is one of his favorites you have written.
It was done very well. Very good story. Eddie March, another black guy, was Iron Man for a few issues back when he and Rhodey took up the suit. Do you know we just became this entire show has been talking about minority characters and such like that? It's just okay.
Nobody talks about minority characters. You're talking about.
When he and Rhodey, well, in 28 minutes, it's official Black History Month and such. When he and Rhodey took up the suit, there was no fuss about them being black, but good care. I didn't even think about it. I just didn't. Okay, Rhodey. This guy's the new Iron Man.
That's the truth.
In fact, that was my favorite run of the. It still is. It's my favorite run of Iron Man, where you have Tony Stark dealing with his alcoholism while Rhodey's in the army, not army. Damn, I can't talk. Thank goodness I'm not trying to make a living doing it.
And when Hal was gone and John Stewart was Green Lantern, it's like good stories with that too.
Yeah, I'm a
Marvel and a DC guy. I'm slowly becoming DC. I wasn't really Marvel for Spider-Man and a few characters, but I'm slowly getting the DC, man. I was never a big Superman fan. I like the cartoons, Christopher.
But the funny thing is, now that you've gone back and you read them, it's like, holy crap, these were good books.
Yeah. Well, like I said, late 80s, late 80s, Marvel and DC were awesome.
Yeah,
whether you're a Marvel fan or DC fan, you had X-Men, John Byrne over there. You had John Byrne over X-Men.
We got some great stories in the 80s. Now, some of them I got to tell you, I did have gone back and is like, yeah, okay, but for the most part, yeah, pretty good.
I can understand that. Like, it's if you didn't like it because you wanted to do a Tony thing, Tony being drunk, that was. I can understand. Maybe you just because it's. You want the character. Like right now, I don't want Ben Reilly. I had the Ben Reilly thing for a little bit.
Okay, Austin Kelly, did you call us out for not liking Falcon as Captain America, but you're saying that you did not like Rhodey as Iron Man?
People don't like what they don't like. People like what they do. It's just you never know. You never know what's going to.
Yeah, apparently we were called. Having a meeting of what by the same guy that is now using the same logic that we were.
But I don't know. I guess I said I when it comes to legacy characters, it has to make sense, and you can't have where the main character is still alive. So it made Tony being alcoholic and really taking over is that thing. They decided to go with that. I'm not sure how long it lasted. But the main thing I gave from the Clone Saga, people hated because, well, Peter Parker was not Spider-Man. And I had to sit through all that.
The Clone Saga lasted longer than way longer than it should have. It lasted a year longer than it should have.
If you're going a year or for me, right now, Peter Parker isn't even Spider-Man anymore for right now. You have Ben Reilly, and it's been over a month. To me, that's too long for a character to be gone from his own book. Let's take it. Wait, I get back. He is actually back, but he had to wear the animal shirt from the 80s, And he had the bad guy because they wouldn't let him out wear his costume because he wasn't off the full peak as Spider-Man. Black Cat and Captain America were training him.
Wait, they brought the amazing Bagman back?
They wouldn't let him wear the costume because he's like, Peter, Mary Jane said, no, I'm holding on the costume because he's going to want to jump ahead and want to be Spider-Man right away, but he's not ready. Sounds like doesn't it sound like the CW Flash? Barry, you're not ready.
Run, Flash, run! What is it? Yeah, run! Every episode, run, Flash, run!
As much as I don't like that show for most of the episodes, this season, the first Armageddon, was solid. You actually had Barry being the Flash. There was no Team Flash.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
There never should have been a Team Flash.
I agree. That goes back to the Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That goes back to Joss Whedon.
What Team Flash should have been was when they introduced the Flash family, have Jay Garrick, have Johnny Chambers, have Max Mercury, older Flashes mentoring him like they did with Walt.
Yeah. There's always there's always been sitcoms where you had a team built around the person. Look at Knight Rider, but Knight Rider, he went off by himself. He didn't need the team. Only when he needed something fixed on the car.
Yes.
That was Michael Knight was the star. It wasn't saying no, you're not Michael Knight. We're Michael Knight.
Kid was the star. Michael Knight was just along for the ride.
He was Irish.
So this person here, William D. Symbolist, actually gave me a great answer to me saying they need to create new characters. Why would anyone create a brand new character for Marvel and DC so the creators can watch the companies make money while they get a fraction of their worth, depending on how well the contracts are negotiated? It's no wonder derivative characters are the norm. I would argue that some derivative characters are as valuable as any new character. Two examples would be Winter Soldier and Spider-Gwen. That costume is next level and gave new life to Gwen Stacy beyond the dead girlfriend trope. The changes these characters border on being original, and yet they use elements of pre-existing Marvel characters they're viewed as derivative. That makes sense. The argument about we don't want to do any new characters because Marvel gets to keep all the money and we get screwed, while especially in the days of self-publishing, like we saw Mike Barron, he's up to like what, between the two of them, about 90,000 between the two, Kickstarter and Indiegogo on his new book. So it makes sense. It makes sense that what that guy was saying.
I don't mind new characters, but my only gripe is with what was like Ghostmaker or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Where they
where he actually knew Bruce and was antagonist before all this, and they added that.
We've never met this person who's been integral into the very core of what Batman is. Yeah.
I don't like that. Now, if you want to have him on somebody totally brand new that has no relation to Bruce or him being before Batman, go ahead, go for it. But I think the reason they did it because they don't know how to tell a story when somebody's brand new has nothing to do with the character.
Basically, poor man's Hush.
Yes. We already had Hush. Why are we bringing somebody else?
Well, kids, I actually only planned on this being an hour. By the way, we've been talking for 2. I think that's pretty cool. Well, it's great. I like when we just hang out and we take comments. Yeah. Because you never know where the conversation is going to go. It's awesome that way. Thank you very much.
It's like when you're in a church and your parents are talking to the rest. You're like, okay, you said we're done by this time. It's been 2 hours now. Let's go.
when you were a kid and you would go grocery shopping with your mom and she would bump into that friend, you're like, oh, I was at the comic book section. That was back. We had comics when I was a kid in the grocery store. And I could have stayed. No, I'm just standing in the heat waiting for you to stop talking. Nobody cares about what's on the news. Oh, let's go. Yeah.
Send her a letter.
No, but guys, thank you very much for hanging out. We're gonna call an end to this.
Rhaegar, you owe Twiddles an apology for that last comment.
I saw that, and I was gonna bring that up. And thank you very much. This is the best bird right here, Twiddles. Twiddles is the best bird.
Yeah, the best birds poop on your shoulder. That's how you have the best birds.
This bird is, if he hasn't already. Okay, so if he turns around, if he turns around and he backs up, that's what he's doing. By the way. But yeah, we're calling it a night. I know I want to get some videos done. Fingers crossed I do. I've actually, by the way, I'm not going to show it clearly, but this is a list of the next, because I get requests, and I looked at the analytics, and you know what? The videos that are trending, the videos that are doing well on this channel are, yes, of course, us talking about the controversies, but it was also comic book origins, and it's the comic book were better list. So this is the next 1940s. So I've got the list made out. I've been gathering pictures. Hopefully I'll have that out for you tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be on this one or the other one. So check that out. I did put out this Punisher video. It's only 10 minutes. Please check that out. I need the views. So bad. We're trying to rebuild this channel and get it kind of to rise out of the ashes. I'm going to delete this and put this out as clips as well. So if you miss something in the beginning and the live stream disappears, be patient. I'll put it out for you there. Okay?
30-second clips out of context. There you go.
30-second out of context. I can't believe how hard my nipples are. Okay, so I'll put that one right out there. Okay, so yeah.
The part you said clip this, put that out.
There you go. Yes, that's what I'm saying. All right, kids. Definitely on Friday, we're going to be doing a reading of something. We'll find something, but we're either going to go the Black History Month or it's the Love Month. We'll find out, because in all honesty,
it's Single Awareness Month.
I don't know if I see. I don't actually agree with making only 1 month for anybody.
No.
I think it should be something that's all throughout the year and actually do stuff all throughout the year. But I would like to touch upon some characters. I really would. And let's say this, but what we have to come up with something. I'm
up for Luke Cage any day.
First appearance of Luke Cage?
Yeah. Might as well.
There you go. All righty.
Butcher his voice, so.
All right, there you go. We'll do the first appearance.
We're gonna need MK for that.
Are we now? Because Sweet Christmas, Black Power. I've got it down, bro. I've got it down. I could do, MK, come on. Let's get that deep-ass voice doing the voice of Luke Cage.
We're already losing Zach, and we know from last time I can't do the reading because of the background noise.
That is true, yeah. God bless you for
trying. Actually, no. Yours sounds the most. They have a part where they're in the streets. Mm-hmm. You can read that part.
Yeah, you could be background noise for when they're in a New York street or something. Yeah, that's really cool. All right, kids, you have a great time. Be safe. Do all that. Click like, share, subscribe, and if you don't mind helping out the channel, Moron, you just shared out the link to the Ko-Fi. Thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night.
Later, people.
Have a good night.
See ya. And something about eating at Joe.